What?
Nailed it.
Welcome to the buy list. This is episode 37.
This is not financial advice. This is cardboard.
Wow.
All right. What are we
Those
talking about today, Ted?
everywhere. We're talking about around the table quickly. I think this product deserves all the hype that it's getting. It seems
Yes.
really cool.
Yeah.
The announcement of it went out, what was that, last week?
Mhm.
Kind of right before this Nats weekend. And pretty cool. I don't know. I wasn't entirely surprised. There wasn't anything that like shocked me. I don't know, Nate, if you were kind of like, whoa, this is not what I was expecting, but definitely seemed kind of, which is not a bad thing, I guess. Let me point that out. It's not a bad thing. But yeah, it's, four heroes in a single box with a actual mat, which is big win.
Yes. I think all around this is like, oh, we, I think when we initially saw that it was going to be $70, we were like, that is very high price point. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
w- I'm pretty sure everyone kind of was like when Classic Battles was $50, everyone was like, really?
Yeah.
Really? You're gonna do that as like the starter? So then when this was 70, everyone really was taken aback. But the fact that you get 4 decks, a mat, and an 800 count box um, is really cool. And the fact that while like Ira's a reprint, we get brand new heroes. And I
Ira's
think
cool. Ira's cool in here though. Like
yes,
before we
yeah.
move on, like I was kind of like Ira again. Ugh. And then I read through the announcement and started doing some thinking, and they've clearly called out in the release article, right, that Ira is meant to be for the one of four people that you bring to the table, and they're just brand new to the game. Like they just put down cards that say go again and get and remember that +1, and then just Kadachi, or maybe not Kadachi's, maybe whatever weapon they give her. um so yeah, at first I was like, oh. And even honestly, Nate, like you could see it here, right? It's like, all right, what one of these things is not like the other, right? It's
Yeah.
Ira's definitely kind of a sore thumb, even art style, right? She kind of sticks out. So I was like, what's going on here? And then, they did explain that, and I was like, oh, that's actually really smart.
Yeah. I think the fact that these heroes are very specifically designed for the UPF format and they feel flavorful for the UPF format as well was really cool to see. I've played like half a game of UPF, I think. And I think the fact that like it's a like uh the game is basically designed to know you're only supposed to kill each other
Mm.
is not great for the UPF format, but this being like having the bard trying to like kind of prop everyone up while slowly building up this like insane combo
Mm.
um is pretty dope. And as someone who's a degenerate combo player, sign me up. Um and then I think it's like kind of cool that the guardian actually does want to try to like protect other people and soak damage.
Yep.
And that at the same time, like just heave massive things at people. Just
Yeah.
like, don't worry, I'm gonna protect you, and then throw a 13 damage attack that's very hard to block at you.
Yeah, I have some locals. I have never played any UPF, and I have a couple locals that really enjoy the format. And one thing that I was actually just talking to them at Nats about this, that because they were going into a UPF format, so I was kind of picking their brain about it. And one thing that they said, and they kind of, there was a bit of a groan when they explained this to me, is that if you bring the wrong hero, um a hero that does arcane or can kind of work on different accesses, like Prism is kind of a a no in UPF because she's just like busted. You kind of just get gunned down, right? And so you're at a table of 4 and everyone just like kill that guy. And you can see, and you just mentioned it, and this kind of triggered this thought in my head, is that you can see that Brevnet and Melody, you probably, as a player, I would be like, okay, how long can we keep Brevnet around? Because he's helping me. But like you can't, you kind of have to like, as a table, maybe like, okay, he's about to go off, throw a tower attack at somebody and kill them. Like we need to kill him now or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
There's a
yeah.
little bit more play, I think, in Melanie and Brevnet, which is fun. And I think it can um really make UPF interesting instead of what I was told by a friend of mine saying it's like, yeah, you just kind of gun down each strongest person and there's a little bit of politicking, but you know, generally everyone knows the rules of the game and they're just like, Prism can't stay alive. She needs to die. But if you're playing Brevenant or Melody, maybe it's like, well, Melody's helping me out right now, so I can maybe kill that person and just you have to like play the game of like, we just can't let her do her final encore or whatever that card is, right?
I think it's like very flavorful, very cool, and I'm actually quite excited to see products like this in the future. I think this definitely leans towards the fact that like LSS is probably going to be introducing like almost. I would not be surprised if we see something like this for PVE next year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the thing that I'm most excited about, just as like a competitive player, is the fact that this allows them to introduce new cards into the card pool and support archetypes
Yeah.
without having to like put them in an expansion slot or like take up a ton of slots for that said archetype in like a supplemental set like Dynasty. So like
Yeah.
we got all the Crouching Tiger stuff in Dynasty, but like that was it. And like without this product, I don't know if we see Crouching Tiger stuff for a long time.
Yeah.
So
That's
like
true.
seeing Ira in here lets them like low key support Crouching Tigers and create an enjoyable player experience, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, I think that's really cool that they can do that. And I know there's always the discussion of like, oh man, I want 2 cards or I want the Crouching Tiger cards from this set. Now I got to buy it for $70. But I mean, yeah, overall, like you're always
The,
gonna have that, right? It was Classic Battles was the same way. I
the
think.
decks will be available separately.
Oh, will they?
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I
well,
think the
then
deck you can buy
that's
the individual decks separately, which will help with alleviate that concern of like glistening steel blade.
yeah, for sure. Then that definitely does because then they can cut out. Then it's just a normal Blitz deck, which is like, you know,
$15.
$15, which is great.
Yeah.
Um, you know, and I'd be interesting to see, and it would not surprise me as well, Nate, that Ira and the Professor can play a Blitz game without having their deck be fully like this. This attacks multiple people at the same time,
Yeah.
you know, because I think the cards that they showed, which is like again, props off to them. That's really cool. It seems like the professor really kind of put his thumbprint, his fingerprint on this, and like said, "Hey, if you're gonna make a UPF product, make a UPF product, right? Like chivalries and things like that. You know, like target multiple heroes, etc., etc." That's a big win. But maybe the professor and Ira can play one v one, and it won't be um, it'll be kind of like a normal blitz deck or a blitz game, sorry.
Yeah.
Which would be cool.
I'm really excited to see the rest of the cards in this because
Mm,
like I think the cards that they did show are very flavorful and cool, and I'm just excited to see what else is in this product.
yep.
Um, yeah, and here's the oh gosh, okay.
Yeah. So segue into cards in this product.
Woo, all
Nate
right.
and I Nate and I did a sweep through them. They didn't show us all that much. It sounded like if you go and listen to the Instant Speed podcast on the Instant Speed channel, I believe it is now on YouTube. Flake interviewed James White recently, and he I don't know how I interpreted it. He interpreted there's more to come for CC in this expand this round the table, but they did show us some bangers.
Oh
I think
yeah.
right off the bat, Civic Steps are nuts.
Yeah, they're insane.
Yo,
But those,
Guardian didn't need this, folks. Like,
oh my gosh.
come on, let's be real here.
I so there's a guy on my team named John Magnuson. He is our team's mad scientist. He will literally brew the craziest shit, and he's actually the one who brewed our Briar deck. That was just basically like a bunch of like 3 blocks that aren't embarrassing to play and actually are
Mm,
like pretty good to play. We were on like 2 rattle bones because of that, where it's like 3 block that becomes a 4 block. We just won the block extremely well.
mm.
And he saw this and he's like, "Did someone say 14 armor?" And I was just like,
Bro,
I-
what did I text you as soon as this came out? Like, this is
yeah,
gonna be a problem, folks. These boots are a problem. Yeah,
yeah.
they're so
So,
good, dude.
so Bravo now has Starstruck, has access to 14 armor, has some of the best on hits in the game, and he now basically starts at 54 life.
Bro, dude, it's like
Scoop it up, baby. Game's over. All right, Bravos. You know, I used to say your hero's unplayable, but these shoes are hot. All right, these are some
so
hot shoes.
yeah, golf clap to Brian and LSS and the design team because these are sneaky boots, man. You read it and you're like, dude, I don't want to give my opponent a quicken token. That's BS. It is perfectly fine.
Yeah,
So what are they gonna do when they get crippling crushed? They can't use the go again.
yeah.
What are they gonna do when they get starstruck?
Bypass turn.
They might get to use the quicken token at some point, but you
Yeah.
just Bravo doesn't let people out their face out of the dirt. He just puts the boot on the back of the head, literally these
Yep. Yep.
shiny new boots, and then just buries people.
Bravo is about to become the like most high roll hero we are ever. There's gonna be people thought Lexi was bad, and they're like, "Oh, Lexi, she shot me with a couple arrows." Just wait until you go crippling, starstruck, spinal, tear asunder, crippling, starstruck. Oh yeah, he's at 40 life. I'm at 6, and I have no armor left, and he has like still 4 block on his armor. Like,
Yeah.
GG's, scoop it up.
Yeah, so like Bravo, I mean, I guess you can. My understanding of Bravo, or at least this version of Bravo, is that you generally have to. You end up over the game taking too much damage, to pull off your big turns that you just said, or like get on a cycle. And if you get off that cycle, and especially in this meta with Lexi and stuff, if you like you falter a little bit, you just
Yep,
get punched in the mouth, and then because you took too much damage to crippling crush that one time or starstruck that one time, you it's like a snowball effect, right? And that's what Starstruck did, and we've been a very we've been very loud about that card. And Starstruck pushed that a little bit closer to where it's like, oh, it's another thing that you can hit. These boots do the same thing. They push them a little bit closer to just be like, oh, I don't. It's 3 more armor. I can now look at my hand. Oh, I have a dominated crippling crush. I don't care if you get a quicken token here. Like, here's my armor, or like, you know what I mean. You
yeah,
can set it up to where the quicken token I don't think is a huge detriment
no.
to your play opponent or to
Yeah,
you.
it's essentially +2 block because they were running like Iron Rot boots before, but yeah, it basically into a lot of decks, you can time this to the point where like the quicken token, the quicken token's just gonna get burned.
Yeah.
Um, so like into Lexi, you just block like if they load arrow, shoot, and then they load like you can block that one with the boots, give them a quicken token because their second arrow was probably gonna be +1 anyways. So it's
Mm.
like
Oh,
they
that's
just
a
get a
good
go
point,
again that doesn't really have a whole lot because they can't load again. Um,
bro. I
but
wasn't
yeah,
even thinking about like during the turn cycle. I'm such a papega.
yeah, like
I got like 0 wrinkles on this brain over here. Like, that's a
yeah,
good point. You can just be like, I don't care. Like, burn the quicken
yeah.
token.
Have a quick like,
Oh, you
you did Mauve Shrill with 1 float off of sorry, Rosetta Thorn's banned now, but,
yeah.
one your
Reaping
Reaping
blade
Blade for your Reaping Blade for 3, that your Reaping Blade can have go again. You have no more cards in hand, I don't care.
or don't swing
Like,
it and don't pop those rune chants.
dude, yep,
Or
genius.
it's just like, ugh,
Yeah,
yeah,
sure. But yeah, like card's real good. It's just like such a subtle upgrade, but it's like a very important upgrade for Bravo, and I think
yeah.
Bravo is gonna be like really good going forward. So, um, we've gushed enough
Before
about
yeah,
that card.
yeah.
So, okay, I I might have to step out. Listen, y'all know I'm a degenerate combo player. Pouncing Paws. At first, I read this and I was like, "Pouncing Paws," I'm like, "Whatever, like, this is terrible. Create a Crouching Tiger in your banish zone you may play at this turn. That sucks. Why would you want that in your hand slot? Like, Breaking Scales is just way better for, like, Hello Kitty OTK." And then I read the bottom where it said legs, and I was like, "Oh, no. What? What?" So, typically for, like, Hello Kitty Remix OTK, you're gonna go, like, any like anthem pump, so like Art of War, Roar the Tiger, Head Leads Tail, and then you're
Mm,
gonna try to make as many of those little bastards as possible, and then you're gonna Katsu, go get a Tiger Swipe, and then typically you have Mask of the Pouncing Lynx. So if this is like your pop off turn, maybe you got some combat tricks in your back pocket too. You get to save a lot more because typically, like, if you're like, "This is my turn, I've got 2 buff effects, I've got 4 Crouching Tigers," you usually go the first 3 Crouching Tigers and then lead that your first Tiger Swipe, and you'll go get the other Tiger Swipe off Mask and have it just waiting,
mm,
but
yeah.
because Tiger Swipe has to combo, it's like, you're kind of effed if they block that first one fully and just like, you sure, whatever, dude, like, and you're like, "Oh, I guess I don't get 1,000,000,000 crouching tigers." You have to, like, save the second one to, like, then ask them, "How many are you going to block? Because 'Cause I'm going to make more crouching tigers this turn."
Mhm,
The feat just let you yeet all of them, see how they block, see if you can juice them, and then you can go, "Oop, here's another crouching tiger, and I'll go mask for my tiger swipe," depending on how you're blocking.
mhm.
So it's like, oh, it's just mwah, that's chef's kiss. This is what, like, they could print 0 other cards for Hello Kitty Remix, and this is just perfect. This is the perfect card for Crouching Tiger Katsu. I don't even care what else is in there. If there's anything else in there, like, if I was going the worlds, I'd probably be on Crouching Tiger OTK.
That's that's a little crazy.
Dude, I love that deck.
It's yeah, I actually haven't put any thought into it, but it sounds like fun. Combo to the max, right?
Yep.
The one thing that even when I was building this OPS scene, I didn't even realize, and you told me to put Pouncing Paws up there. These are battle worn one too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the crazy,
That's
like,
pretty good.
this could
That's
have said,
pretty
like, "Take
good,
1
man.
damage to start the game with this in play," and I'm like, "Yep, sign me up. Battle Worn 1,
Yeah,
ship it, baby. I want these. I want these in cold foil."
yeah. Battle worn is hyper rare, and like yeah, just battle worn one, which is fine. But like, damn, dude. So you don't have to like. So you can still block with them, right? Like pouncing links, you have to like choose. Do I go do the combo thing or do I have to block? This you can just block with it and then use them later, which is pretty sick.
I run Breeze Rider boots right now, and the only reason I run that is because the text box says block 1 on it.
Yeah. So now you got even more text.
Yes, I have more text and better text. This is great. Thank you, LSS.
Yeah, for sure. So lay down the law. The last card here is really not a. It's yeah, okay. So I think if you're watching this, you're like, what the hell are they gonna? How are they gonna convince me that lay down the law is gonna be a CC card, right? Well, it's not.
Yeah,
But
card sucks.
yeah, card's bad. But it is interesting that we have a new Guardian keyword tower,
Mhm.
which is like cool. Might not see it outside of this set, outside of this roundtable thing, because it does seem to be, um, it does seem to be kind of tied in with Brevnet, but it is a new keyword, which is interesting. If this, if this gains what 5 power, 5 attack,
6.
non-equipment, or 6, yeah, sorry, 6. I can math. Um, it gets -1 to non-equipment cards, which is like, whoa. Just be careful with tower, guys. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
gonna be, I'm hoping to see some, like, 9s, 10s, and 11s, and then some, like, better on hits, because that facilitates running the, like, pump cards
Hmm.
that give the next attack, like, plus,
Yeah.
like, X. So like emboldened becomes very interesting because the red emboldened is actually +6. Um, so like
No hero
it
can
be
play that, but yeah.
hmm?
That's Elemental Guardian, isn't it?
Is it?
Pretty sure.
Dude, we don't do research here. Fact check yourself.
Fact
Fact
check.
check it yourself,
Yeah,
people.
yeah. That's
Let's
your
go look at
homework. That's your homework,
yeah,
guys.
yeah,
Go look up Embolden, see if that's an elemental or not. Report back. Leave a comment, please.
yeah. But like cards like Pummel,
I was just gonna
Slogism,
say, like, Pummel
Golden.
is like, oh yeah.
Yeah, give me a 9 spot that does some like gross stuff. Woo!
Yeah.
So
We can
yeah, I'm excited to see where they take it. But I think it's really cool that they didn't just give us like a bunch of vanilla filler
yeah.
in these hero decks, and we get to see some like expansion into the CC meta, which is really cool because one of my I think bigger issues is that like the CC meta can get a little bit stale the longer we're in a certain set.
Yeah.
Like right now, it's already starting to feel stale. We have bright lights around the corner, but I think it's mostly because Dust Till Dawn had like very little impact on the meta. So like
Yeah.
the last impact was Outsiders. So it's really cool that they're putting cards that will definitely impact CC in these starter decks. And I'm just hyped for it. Good job, LSS.
Yeah, for
Good
sure.
job, J Dubs. Proud of you.
Yeah, no, this is an awesome thing. I have mine pre-ordered. I'm excited for it. I'm going to my sister shows up to my streams pretty regularly, and she's been asking about the game more as she sees me opening packs and stuff. So I'm gonna pick one of these up, and then I'm gonna take it up to her place and show her and her husband how to play the game, because I think honestly this is the best way to do it, right? Building two blitz decks. Like I had a friend ask me this, or like open in an open chat, like, hey, I want to show someone the game. Which two blitz heroes do I build and play? And I was like, it's actually kind of a tough. Like the more we talked about the heroes, we're like, well, no, because Reinhardt just kills you instantly. Well, no, this happens, or Vincent just builds up this like unstoppable rune chant mass. I'm like, that's not a lot of. There's not a lot of fun like get someone hooked on the game if they've never played a TCG game before, right? So I really think that this set is going to do that and like show new players how to do. Okay, so yeah, that's gonna do it. We're try to keep this one a little bit shorter. Just do a quick review on Around the Table. Good job, LSS. I'm hyped for this product. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell for all our content. Peace.
Peace.